Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Everyone is asking the same question right now. Should I use Playwright or Selenium? And most videos will give you a list, faster, slower, easier, harder like that. But today we are going to go deeper than that. We're going to understand why Playwright is faster, why Selenium needs those extra driver files, why Playwright tests are more reliable on modern apps. The answer is in the architecture, how each tool actually connects to and controls the browser. And I'm going to explain it with examples so simple that even your non-technical manager can understand it. Let us get into that. What does architecture mean? Architecture means how many steps does it take for your test command to reach the browser and get a response back. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you want to send a message to your friend. You have two options, right? Option A, the older way, postal letter way. You write the letter, you put it in an envelope, you hand it to a postman. The postman takes it to the sorting office. The sorting office routes it to correct delivery person. The delivery person walks to your friend's house and delivers it. Your friend reads it and writes a reply. The whole process happens again in reverse. Eventually, maybe 3 to 5 days later, you get the response. Option B, the modern way text message. You open your phone, you type the message, you press send. In under a second, your friend's phone vibrates and they reply. Same goal, completely different architecture. Selenium is the postal letter, Playwright is the text message. Now let us see exactly why layer by layer. Selenium architecture. Here is how Selenium works, step by step. When you write a Selenium test, say, click the login button. Here is what actually happens. Step 1, your test code. You write in Python, Java or whatever the language. You say driver.findElement by id login.click. Okay, step 2, Selenium client library. Your code calls the Selenium library. The library does not talk to the browser directly. Instead, it packages your command into an HTTP request, a JSON message, and sends it to over the network to a separate process. Okay. Step 3, the web driver, which is like a postman. This is Chrome driver or Gecko driver or Edge driver. A separate executable program you have to download and install separately. It receives the HTTP request, it translates it into browser specific instructions, it sends those instructions to the browser. Okay, understood these 3 points? Okay, your test code, then Selenium client library, and then the driver, web driver. And step 4 is the browser, real browser. The browser finally receives the instruction and clicks the button. It sends the result back to the web driver sends it back to Selenium, Selenium gives it back to your test. Okay. Now, let me make this even clearer with a restaurant analogy. Imagine you are at a traditional restaurant. You are the customer, your test code. Your customer means your test code. The waiter is like Chrome driver, the middleman. The kitchen is in the browser where things actually happen. You cannot walk into the kitchen yourself. You must tell the waiter goes to the kitchen prepares your food. The waiter brings it back to you. Every single action, every click, every type, every assertion goes through this full round trip. And there is one more problem. Each browser needs its own waiter. Chrome has Chrome driver, Firefox has Gecko driver, Edge has Edge driver, and each driver version must match the exact browser version. Whoever worked on Selenium, they might have faced this issue, like browser versions also should match. Chrome auto updates. Your Chrome driver is now the wrong version. Okay, your test breaks. Not because of your code, because the waiter changed his uniform. This is the reality of Selenium architecture. Playwright architecture. Now let us look at Playwright. Playwright was built by the same team, but built Puppeteer at Google. They had learned the hard way that was what was wrong with the WebDriver approach. So they designed something fundamentally different. When you write a Playwright test, say page.click of login, here is what happens. Step 1. Your test code. You write in Python, JavaScript, Java or C Sharp, whatever the language. Okay, that is same as first step in the Selenium. Now step 2. Playwright library direct protocol. Playwright does not create an HTTP request to a separate process. Instead, it connects directly to the browser using the browser's own internal protocol. For Chromium, this is called the Chrome DevTools Protocol, CDP. For Firefox and WebKit, Playwright uses customized versions of their internal protocol. Okay, this is the difference. It's a direct protocol. Step 3. The browser. The browser receives the command directly. It acts on it. The response comes back directly to your test over a persistent WebSocket connections, not one HTTP request per action. Okay, clear, right? The browser receives the command directly. Okay, it acts on it and the response comes back directly to your test over a persistent WebSocket connections. Okay, not like the Selenium process. That's it. 2 steps. Direct connection, no WebDriver process in the middle. Back to our restaurant analogy here. Okay, let's see the example difference as well. Playwright is like a food truck. You walk up to the window, you speak directly to the chef makes your food in front of you, you receive it immediately. There is no waiter, there is no back and forth between dining room and kitchen. You and the chef are in direct communication. And Playwright bundles its own browsers. When you install Playwright and run Playwright install, it downloads its own versions of Chromium, Firefox and WebKit that are guaranteed to work. No version mismatch. No Chrome driver 115 doesn't work with Chrome 116 errors ever. This is the smartphone versus telephone operator movement. Old telephone system, you call the operator, give them a number, they route it. Smartphones, you tap a contact, it connects instantly. Okay. Architecture comparison side by side. Let me now show you what this architectural difference actually means for your daily work as a QA engineer. Speed. Selenium sends one HTTP request per command, click request, type request, asset request. Each request has network overhead. Playwright uses a persistent WebSocket, one connection, all commands stream through it. Result, Playwright tests typically run 2 to 3 times faster. Okay, this is about the speed. Reliability, the waiting problem. This is the biggest one. Selenium does not know when the page is ready. You write driver.click and the button might not exist yet because the page is still loading. You add time.sleep 2 seconds, then WebDriver wait, then you spend more time writing waiting code than actual test code. Playwright has built-in auto wait. When you say page.click of login, Playwright automatically waits for the element to be visible, enabled and stable before clicking. You never write sleep statements. Your tests become shorter and more reliable. Okay, this is how we overcome this waiting problem with Playwright. Setup. Selenium, download browser, download matching WebDriver version, configure path, update every time browser updates, right? Playwright, pip install Playwright, then Playwright install, done. Browsers are bundled. Parallel testing. Playwright has browser context, lightweight, isolated sessions inside a single browser instance. You can run 10 parallel tests in one browser process. Selenium spins up a full browser per test, much heavier. Okay, these are all the different comparisons between when to choose which. Now the practical question, which one do you use? Choose Selenium when you have an existing Selenium test suite with hundreds of tests, migration cost is too high, you need to test Internet Explorer or very old browsers, your team is already trained on Selenium and you need output now, you are working in an organization with strong Selenium framework already built. Okay, in these cases, go for Selenium. Choose Playwright when you are starting a new automation project from scratch. You need fast, reliable tests with minimal flakiness. You are testing modern web applications like React, Angular, apps like that. You need built-in features, screenshots, videos, network mocking, accessibility testing, and you want one tool that handles API testing and UI testing. Okay, the honest truth is if you are starting fresh today, Playwright is the better technical choice. The architecture is simply more suited to modern web applications, but Selenium is mature, has a huge community, and is absolutely not going away. Let's bring this all together. Both tools automate the browser. That is what they share. Selenium uses a multi-layer architecture, your test, Selenium library, HTTP request, WebDriver process, browser. It is like the postal system, reliable, widely understood, but with multiple hops and potential for things to go wrong at each step. You manage drivers manually. That's about Playwright. Sorry, that's about Selenium. Coming to Playwright, Playwright uses a direct protocol architecture, your test, Playwright library, WebSocket, browser natively. It is like a text message, direct, fast, and the connection stays open. Browsers are bundled, automate is built in. The architecture is not just a technical detail, it is the reason Playwright tests are faster, more stable, and easier to set up. Now, next time someone asks you what is the difference between Playwright and Selenium, you do not say Playwright is newer. You say Selenium communicates with browser through a separate WebDriver process over HTTP. Playwright communicates directly using the browser's native protocol. That one difference explains everything else.